Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so what am I wearing today? The Casio. Why am I wearing the Casio? Well, I don't know if you guys can see, but on my wrist, I've got a wound, and well, I don't really know what the wound is from, but Friday I was wearing the Explorer 2, and I noticed my wrist was hurting a little bit. I noticed some pain there, and I thought, okay, I guess it's getting summer and I need to loosen up the bracelet. When I looked a little closer, I had this thing, and I don't know, it was almost like a burn, but I don't remember getting burned. It's not a pimple. I don't really know what it was, but I had to not wear a Rolex because surprisingly, and it's when you have something like this, you realize how heavy the head of a Rolex is. And a couple days I had to just wear the Casio. I wanted to wear the Casio anyway, but it was sort of a pain thing. The Rolex hurt, and this morning I wound up the Rolex. I set it, the Explorer 2, put it on, and I could immediately tell my wrist is just too tender to take it. So this is the first day I've ever worn a Casio to Tokyo for work. And how was it? Well, it's interesting. I didn't use any of the goodies. I mean, yeah, I checked the date once, but I time things a lot, and I just couldn't be bothered to click over and use the timing, the chronograph. Partially was because every time you use the chronograph, it beeps, and that's kind of annoying. What I use is I like to time things down. Like I need a readout of when 5 minutes passes or 2 minutes passes, and so yeah. Anyway, I just use the second hand. Anyway, I didn't use any of the sort of the functions on it. I did notice that it was distinctly less interesting to check the time on my watch. I mean, I think we all know this is not some big surprise, but part of having a nice mechanical analog watch is looking down and seeing that watch face, not just the watch face, but the whole watch, the whole experience, the whole time-telling experience. There's something very aesthetically pleasing about that watch on your wrist, and it makes telling the time a joy. And it's something I didn't get with this. It was accurate, I'll give it that. And I didn't have to set it at all. It's light, that's why I'm wearing it, but just visually it just wasn't pleasing. And this is something that I don't really need in the evenings when I usually strap this on to sleep in, because I do make a lot of use of the alarm. So that was my sort of one real takeaway from this experience. What a visual pleasure it is to check the time on a good watch, and how heavy those Rolexes are. Welcome back to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin, and I just finished at the sports club. Man, I worked out hard. I'm 2 degrees from feeling nauseous. I'll be fine in a minute, but I just kind of pushed myself a little bit too hard. But that's good. I'll feel great soon. Nothing like a good workout to get those endorphins flowing. So it's been about 6 days, a week tomorrow, since I made the first part of that vid that you just watched, and I still sort of have a wrist issue. If I had just left everything alone, it would be fine, but I don't know. I scratched at it. I was thinking, I didn't know if there was an ingrown hair or I had some shard of metal in there, or a splinter or something, and so it was hurting a little bit, and I just was like, all right, I'm gonna dig a hole in it and just make sure nothing's in there. And so in retrospect, I don't think anything was, but it's postponed the healing process, and I just decided to not even go light Casio on my left wrist. So I've been wearing the Casio, it's on my right wrist as I'm making this video, and I've been wearing it for a week, probably about half of this past week here, and then when I decided just, you know, I'm just gonna wait till this is all okay, switched over to my right wrist, which is weird. Yeah, the first couple days I was really fiending for a mechanical watch, and then I just sort of let it go, and I thought, okay, well, this will be an interesting experiment. Right wrist, Casio, what can I derive from this experiment? Well, you know, I just finished at the sports club, and when I was putting on my backpack, I realized my backpack just slipped on over my left hand. I realized the way I put my backpack on is I throw it over my right shoulder, and then I sort of put my left hand back. And if you have a watch on, it's always an issue. Your watch gets caught on the strap or hits the strap. I mean, I've sort of figured it out where you really throw your backpack over your right shoulder, and then you know, you get enough slack that you can slip your hand in. But I just realized just now when I put it in, wow, that was great. So maybe I need to start throwing my backpack over my left shoulder and then putting my right watchless wrist hand in the backpack strap. Anyway, I realized that. One of the things that I really miss about a mechanical watch is wherever I am, no matter sort of what's going on, the stressful situation, when I look at my watch, it's sort of a source of calming peace, tranquility. And the sweeping second hand has a lot to do with it, but one other thing that I've realized that has another thing to do with it is that little space, that little area between the dial and the crystal, that little millimeter of air. Let's just pause and let me ask you if you guys have seen, and I'm sure you have, these snow globes that, you know, they look like the North Pole and they're full of water, and you shake them up and you can see like this snowy scene. And they're sort of this source of, well, in Japanese wa, where you sort of sink into that little area, and it sort of takes you out of the moment and takes you into that little idyllic snowy scene, and it's sort of a way to sort of escape your surroundings. And I feel like a mechanical watch is much the same way. Not just any mechanical watch, but for some reason, one of my Rolexes. When I look down and I see that little millimeter of space, it's almost like my consciousness sinks in there, and it's like a little safe place. It's like it's totally waterproof, and it's quiet, and it's clean, and it's beautiful, and there's nothing really going on except for this lovely sweeping second hand just gliding through it. And no matter where I am, if it's, you know, a busy train or like a stressful period of work, when I check my watch, my consciousness almost sinks into that little area. that little safe space, and it's lovely. And that's one of the things I miss about, you know, not having a mechanical watch on my wrist. All right, guys, back on the Rolexes, back on the mechanical watches. You can see my wrist is completely healed. All right, so welcome back. As you can see from those timestamps, it's been a while since I've made a video, and my wrist is completely fine. I got a pop in the stomach from my daughter just now. I've been wearing this watch for 3 weeks, and I haven't taken it off. Well, I mean, I take it off occasionally when I get in the shower, but this has been my one mechanical watch. And, you know, I've come to the conclusion that I think you can like watches too much. There's a middle path. There's a middle road where you appreciate watches, you like them and you love them, but you don't like them too much. You're not overly protective of them. And when you are, you tend to enjoy them less, and you tend to hoard and be overly protective and baby your watches, and that's when enjoyment is infringed upon. So in this past 3 weeks of wearing this watch, I've been very satisfied with it. I feel like I've lived these past 3 weeks as a one-watch guy who's completely satisfied. Now, it's one thing being a one-watch guy, but one that is constantly facing temptation. You want to be horologically monogamous, but you think, wow, that would be a really nice watch to have, or maybe just today I'll wear this watch, or yeah, I need a break from this watch. I'm gonna strap on this watch today. And knowing that you'd like to be the one-watch guy, but you just don't have it in you. Well, this past 3 weeks, I feel like I've been very content, and I've become a one-watch guy, truly from my heart, not just because I think it's the right thing to do. And is it the right thing to do? That's a whole nother thing. I think it's the more normal thing to do. I've made other videos where I've talked about, you know, the sensibility of being a one-watch guy, so I'm not going to go into it now. But I've been very happy with this watch, and a year from now, will I be still wearing this watch and just as satisfied? I hope so, but I make no illusions that change does occur, and if I've learned anything on my horological journeys, it's that today's one-watch guy is tomorrow's flipper, and we're always constantly changing, and it's part of what makes things interesting. But at least for these 3 weeks, I've achieved what I feel is horological inner peace with this watch. I see my Seiko sitting there. You guys know other watches I've got stashed away. But this is enough. And I love wearing it, and I love looking at it. And I wear it to bed, I wear it in the shower, and I don't always wear it in the shower, but yeah, don't get near it. It's a Japanese hornet she sees. Just stay away from it. It's not going to bother you if you don't bother it.
Stay away from Japanese hornets.
But I've started using it. Like the watch is supposed to be used. I don't always wear it in the shower, but if I have it on and, you know, I'm bathing my daughters or something like that, you know, and it might not come off, and it's okay. It can handle it. I trust it. And that's nice. And so maybe I was just liking a little too much. I feel like it's, yeah, there's a middle path to where you can enjoy your watch, but your watch really isn't running you. the other day I was doing pull-ups or push-ups. Actually, it was push-ups, and I took the watch off, and I went into another room, and I didn't have it on, and I thought, I gotta have that watch on. You know, I want to look at it, I want to feel it, and went into the other room, and I got it, and it's just I sleep with this watch very often. If I have to get up the next day, I often put on a Casio, so I have the alarm. But I just feel so content with this watch. Will that change? Probably, but for the time being, I'm really enjoying this horological inner piece. Can you like watches too much? I think you can. I think there's a middle road, as the Buddha says. Take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time.